This is Rebecca Lane, your public speaking instructor, and I wanted to talk you through the industry presentation outline assignment. So, I've been getting a lot of questions about this assignment, and I usually find that just a little bit of conversation and talking through it can be helpful. So please watch this video through to the end, and I bet that it will answer a lot of the questions that you have about this assignment. Okay. So let's talk through this. So first we're doing an outline. And here's the basic assignment information. Here's the goal. We're developing a working outline. Make sure you double check the textbook, the Speak Up textbook, and really focus on what the difference is between a working outline and a speaking outline. Now the basic definition of an outline is that you are not writing down every single thing you plan to say verbatim, but you are writing down how you plan to organize that information. And you're specific enough to be able to have phrases or sentences that encompass more than what you plan to say. So for example, if I'm talking about cats, I could say the story about my pet, the story about how when my pet Fluffy swallowed the rubber ball. Okay, so I'm not writing out the story of how my pet Fluffy swallowed the rubber ball, but I am referencing that specific example that I plan to cover there. Okay, so the submission type. Clearly this is a discussion board, but it's not a video. You're actually going to use your document software to make this happen. And you're going to use your outline as your initial post. So this is going to be an outline using Roman numerals, stuff like that. Fully fleshed out. This should be the outline you plan to use. And then you are going to respond to one of your classmates' outlines using that RISE model of feedback. So you'll give them you'll read it, and then you'll give them praise for what's really working, and then you give them suggestions to help make it better. That's why we're in this class together, right? Okay, it's 5% of your grade, so you want to make sure you get this done. And here is the real key. You want to make sure that you complete all of the assigned readings and lessons. These readings and lessons are going to help you do this the way that you need to do them, to help you make this outline the way that we are looking for in this class. And don't forget, you do need to include 3 outside sources. So you want to choose a topic that you can find research on. So here's what you're going to do. Here's your task. You're developing an informative speech. The topic for your informative speech it's an industry presentation. So you're going to select an industry technique or technology to create an informative speaking outline. And to practice that outline, and after that, you're going to practice that outline with your Google Hangouts team, and after you've practiced it, then, and only then, will you actually record your video. So this is what your next week and a half is going to look like. You're going to be working on this presentation. So let's look down at step 1 here, preparing your topic. Well, the very first thing that you need to do is you need to read the instructions for your industry presentation. So the industry presentation instructions are not at the top of your list, right? Because the actual assignment is not due until the end of week 2. However, we're telling you in the directions that you really need to go reference these instructions. So when you look at these instructions, you're going to see a clear description of what this assignment is going to be. So a clear understanding of the techniques and technologies in your field. So one of the major questions I get is, what industry are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your personal industry, your chosen industry at Full Sail. Okay? So after you've chosen after you've read those directions, you want to go ahead and brainstorm for your topic. So in your brainstorm, what I really like to do is I love to time myself, and I'll give myself like 1 minute, and I won't let myself stop writing. And I write down everything that I think is awesome. And I don't really edit myself, and I time myself for 1 minute, and I don't let my pen stop moving. And so within that list, some of the things are going to be ridiculous, like Cheetos. I think Cheetos are delicious, but I'm not going to write an entire industry presentation about Cheetos because it doesn't really apply, right? So that's cool. But the point is that I'm not editing what I'm writing down. I'm just writing it down. So however you choose to brainstorm, and that could be your process, brainstorm. Figure out what you have the most personal experience with. You will do a lot better on this presentation if you have personal stories about the topic you are covering. It makes it a lot more human. Also, what do you find interesting? See, here's the deal, is if you aren't interested in a topic, it's totally going to come through in your presentation. You're going to look bored. And it doesn't do you any good in this class if you are bored talking about the topic that you have chosen. You have all of this freedom to choose a topic that you think is cool. If you choose a topic you think is boring, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. So really make sure you choose something that just rocks your world, okay? And that's going to come through in your presentation, I guarantee it. Okay, so step number 3 within this entire step 1, do research. Okay, so even if you find a topic that rocks your world, if you cannot make it fit in this assignment requirements, it is not the right topic, all right? So if you can't find outside support, find something else that is world-rocking, okay? Something else that you have personal experience with, that you think is awesome, but you really want to find something that you can find outside support. Okay, so outside support could be, one of your textbooks. So if you have a textbook from a class that really you thought was awesome, and there is a very tiny subheading within that textbook that might be something that you could talk about for 3 to 5 minutes, guess what? That textbook is one of your sources, okay? So that is a guaranteed source, and it's a shortcut. I'm giving you shortcuts here. Take them. Okay, you do want to make sure that you give yourself plenty of time to complete your research. So your textbook is only one source, right? So if you've taken a couple classes on this topic, then you might have 3 different textbooks, and that is just outstanding. 3 textbooks, that's exactly what we're looking for, right? But if not, you're going to have to go online. You might have to call a librarian. Librarians are awesome. They don't do the paper writing or the speech writing for you, but they geek out over finding new information. I know, I have friends who are librarians. So give them a chance to geek out, because that's awesome. Okay, so after you have researched your topics, you know that you have sources, you have access to information, so it's not just your personal experience, other people have had this experience also, and they can support you, so it makes you a credible source, right? Only then are you going to download the industry presentation worksheet. So this worksheet is essential for getting a good grade on this assignment. I'm going to repeat that. This worksheet is essential for getting a good grade on this assignment. Follow it closely. However, even if you follow it closely, if you have not read this document right here, you may not do it correctly. So do that. Okay, so we're moving on to step 2. Now step 2 is assuming you've brainstormed, you found something that you think is awesome, you've found something that you have experienced yourself, you have found something that you have found research on, and you have downloaded this worksheet, and you read the directions for the actual speech that you were preparing for. Here's what we're doing with the actual outline. Okay, you're going to fill out the worksheet. Hard, right? Well, I mean, the worksheet's actually pretty detailed, so it's a little bit hard. But you're going to base it on the topic that you've selected and researched. Please note that this says selected, and also it says researched. Okay, the worksheet references worksheet with blah, blah, blah. The worksheet references your week 1 textbook readings frequently. Okay, so you're going to see, this is the worksheet right here. Okay, so it says you need a hook attention getter. So what I might say is, dude, I don't remember what a hook or attention getter is. Okay, so here is help for you. When you look right over here, this outline template down here, here you see this mirrored right over here. See that mirrored? Okay, and then there are really specific instructions. In this space, create a hook to grab your audience's attention. Review Chapter 10's section, gain your audience's attention. Beginning on page 299. Which attention grabber will you use? Erase the underlined section and write your attention getter here. Okay, so you see how we've got page numbers right here. We have section headings right here. This is exactly what we expect you to do. There are really awesome examples in the textbook. Use them. That's why the textbook is there. It's a really great resource. Okay, so now you've looked at the week 1 textbook readings. Read them a lot. We use this word frequently there on purpose. And then follow the outline structure really carefully. So an outline is, and it says this right here, I don't need to read it to you, but see, the outline is not the same as writing an essay. When you're writing an outline, you're looking at phrases, you're looking at sentences, you're not writing down everything verbatim what you plan to say, just like I was saying when I was talking about this over here. If I plan to tell you guys the story about when my cat Fluffy ate the rubber ball, I'm not going to write out the entire story of Fluffy eating the rubber ball in my outline. Instead, I'm going to write the phrase or sentence, tell the story about Fluffy eating the rubber ball. Okay? So we're making sure that we're writing phrases, things that encompass, so that you can look at the structure of your information without actually writing it out verbatim. Writing things out verbatim doesn't help you in extemporaneous speaking. I mean, it might if you need it for organizational purposes, but after that, you're actually going to want to put it back in the outline. I've done it backwards and forwards, both ways. I've written things out verbatim first and made them outlines, and the reason I ended up making things outlines instead of keeping it verbatim is because that was what was helping me speak effectively. So make sure you do that. Okay, so after you've done that, you want to make sure you include a references section. We're using APA format. If you have no idea what APA format is, you can Google it, or you can call a librarian, or you can, well, Google it. I would Google it. And then you could also Google the Purdue OWL if you do, because I like the Purdue OWL. Purdue OWL, APA, formatting. Okay, APA formatting, style guide, reference list. Okay, so you've got in-text citations. So maybe I want to do references, citations. Okay. APA formatting, style guide, Purdue, online writing lab. And look at all of this. There's an overview, in-text citations, footnotes, reference list. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for, right? So if you are totally confused on APA format, the Purdue OWL is your guy, or gal, or animal, something like that. Okay, so paste your outline on the discussion board. So you are just going to copy and paste this, dude. Copy, actually all of this, right? Because you have to answer these questions. You're going to copy and paste. Okay? And that's after you fill this out. So these directions here are incredibly important. You should read them. The working outline guidelines are right here in week 2 readings. Here are the pages they are in the textbook Speak app. This is the format we expect you to use, so you'll see that these lessons are really interactive with the textbook. They have to be, because I'm not there in person to talk you through it. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Answer these questions. These questions are intended to guide you through finding your topic and intended to guide you through really constructing the kind of speech that I'm looking for, right? You've got a hook attention getter. You can figure that out right here. You've got a thesis statement. This is the thing that you are talking about. If you have trouble finding a thesis statement, page 189 is a really great place to start connecting with audience, establishing your personal credibility, previewing your main points, and then see, we've got main point. And see, right here, Research Article 1, Research Article 2, Research Article 3. The idea behind this is we really want to have a balanced look at the research that you have included. So if I shove all of my research into one main point, that means that the rest of my speech isn't necessarily supported in any specific manner, which reduces my personal credibility. So our goal in this class is to help you be a credible speaker. And so, in order to help you achieve that, we are giving you instructions for how to achieve that, right? So this is what we're looking for. So you're going to cite something in main point 1, you're going to cite something in main point 2, and you're going to cite something in main point 3. Make sure that when you reference that research article, you go ahead and do a little in-text source citation. If you forgot how to do that, the Purdue OWL is your animal, perhaps your bird, because it's not a mammal, and you'll see in-text citations, the basics, okay? So, after you've done this outline, you're going to write a response post. Use these prompts. These prompts are here for a reason. Use the RISE model of feedback. Click on this. It makes a huge difference. Now, before you submit things in a final submission sort of way, very carefully read through the rubric. The rubric is exactly what I am using to grade you, and it outlines my expectations phenomenally. All right? So superior is like doing something awesome, really surpassing my expectations in all of these, right? Individual input, initiative, critical thinking, group participation, communication style. So what that means is spell check. Do your sources. Make sure you visit the Purdue Owl. Have some tea there. Make sure you've got a timely response post. So don't post things at the very, 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 very last minute. I won't accept it if you post it late, so you want to post it, sooner rather than later. With this, individual input, a timely post. It does not help your classmates out if you post this at the 11th hour. Don't do that. Post it as early as you possibly can. All right, that's going to help this classroom conversation happen. It's part of the teamwork, right? Okay, and finally, critical thinking analysis. I need to see that you are actually using the stuff in the textbook. I need to see that you're actually citing things from outside sources. That's what's going to give you a really awesome grade on this assignment. Okay, so if you have questions, let me know. If I have clarified anything with this video, let me know that too, because it's good to know that the sources I put together are helpful. If I have entertained you in any way, you're welcome, and I hope that I did. If I made you groan, well, I do that sometimes. This should be fun. Talk about something you like to talk about, and read some books you like to read. I mean, this is your industry, right? So hopefully some of it kind of jazzes you up. Pick the thing that really jazzes you up, and that's really what's going to help you be successful here. Okay, if you have questions, you must contact me. The best way to contact me is through Google Voice. We already know that. But you can also email me too. I love answering emails. All right, so I will talk to you soon. Rebecca Lane out.